Welcome back to Good Sports for You, where we are talking about good sports for you. And today we are talking about big news coming out of Knoxville, Tennessee and San Francisco, California. And that is head coach Tony Vitello leaving the Tennessee Volunteers to become the manager of the San Francisco Giants. Before we hop into it, I want to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, help keep this channel growing. I appreciate it so much. So to start off, I think I'm personally a little bit qualified to talk about Tony because I attended to the University of Tennessee for 4 years. I just graduated. And in addition to that, I worked for the SEC Network for all 4 of those years there, where I covered baseball for 4 years. I worked replay and camera operations. So I got to see what Tony was doing a day in and day out with his baseball program and how he helped it grow. I even met him one time. During a football game, I was going to throw out the trash behind the studio, and I saw Tony walking. I said, "Hey, coach." He said, "Hey, how's it going, buddy?" I was like, I'm doing good. He's like, "It's game day today." I was like, "It is indeed." Alrighty, you have a good one. Such a nice guy. It was an absolute blast. So first, I want to talk a little bit about Tony's playing days, and he didn't do a lot of it. He started at a D2 school, and then he transferred to the University of Missouri, also known as Mizzou, where he did not play very well, but hey, a D1 baseball player is a D1 baseball player, am I right? But then he was his assistant head coach at Mizzou from 2003 to 2010. He then went on to be hired at TCU from 2011 to 2013, also as an assistant head coach. And then he went to Arkansas from 2014 to 2017, where he was also the assistant head coach. And then he went to the University of Tennessee, where he was his first head coaching job, and it made a huge difference right away. This program was a very middling program, middle of the SEC. They weren't very good, but they weren't very bad either. That all changed with Tony. In fact, in their second season, they made the tournament, which was the first time since 2005. So they made the tournament in 2019. So 14 years later, they had made the tournament, and this was only his second season. And then right after that, they instantly became dominant, becoming one of the best teams in the whole entire country and in the SEC. They won the national championship in 2014. They were constantly at the top of the rankings. They were always going to be a threat for the national championship, one of the best regular season teams. And like I said, he even got it done in the playoffs. So, I mean, one of the things that made him so successful is he was able to bring in a bunch of talent. He was really good at recruiting freshmen, and he was really good at recruiting transfers as well. You look at the University of Tennessee right now, and they have their fingerprints all over the MLB landscape, especially with a bunch of their young players. Drew Gilbert, Jordan Beck, Trey Lipscomb, Chase Dollander, Christian Moore, all those players are big league players. Liam Doyle drafted 5th overall in this past MLB draft. So you got players all over the place that were all under the tutelage of Tony Vitello. But here's the thing. In the MLB, you're not going to have recruits. You're not going to have transfers. You're going to have guys come up from the minors who have been with the organization. You don't have to go across the country to find these guys. So that definitely will be a learning curve for Tony. So the question is can he get players to buy in like he did at the University of Tennessee, get all those egos under control like he did at the University of Tennessee in order to build a winning roster? One thing that I will say about Tony is that he excelled at players buying in, like I said a little bit before. The thing that I really admire about him is basically it felt like he would say, hey, you're not going to play this season as a freshman, as a sophomore even, but we need you to stick around and trust me, you're going to be an all-SEC caliber player, an all-American caliber player. You're going to get drafted. You're going to go where you want to go. This happened with Trey Lipscomb. Like I said, he got drafted. He played for the Nationals. Not for very long, but still, big leaguer's big leaguer. This happened with Dylan Dreiling. This happened with Kavaris Tears. All 3 of those players are all SEC caliber players, and all of them were drafted into the MLB. Dylan Dreiling and Kavaris Tears are both in the minor leagues. But the thing is, with both of those guys, they got very little to no playing time early in their career. But Tony said, hey, don't transfer. You got to trust in the process. You got to trust in this program. And that's absolutely what they did. And they developed to become really, really good players. So he's incredible at developing talent. He's great at getting players to really buy in. And he's excellent at recruiting. How those things will translate to the big league level remains to be seen. But one other thing is he knows how to fire guys up for sure. Tennessee quickly became the villains of the college baseball world. They were winning. They knew how to have fun. They were always excited. They were always rearing up and ready to go. Tony was always yelling and ready to go. And I think that that's important for this Giants team because I think this Giants team is lacking an identity. And with the coaching hire like Tony Vitello, you know that you're going to get identity right away, quite frankly. I mean, you already have Drew Gilbert on the team who played under Tony already, and everyone loves Drew Gilbert. You go on like Giant social media and everything, and they're all talking about how funny he is. He's this rookie, and he's barely playing, and when he's playing, he's not that great, but everyone loves him. He's a great personality. He gets everyone fired up, and that's the kind of guys that Tony loves. I could see him working really well with like a Willy Adames type player. Willie knows how to have fun, and he's a very quality player as well. Tony really thrives with those kind of guys, which is why I like this fit for him with the Giants, because it's a team that, like I said, it doesn't have a ton of identity, but Tony will bring that instantaneously. Another thing, he knows how to build a winning atmosphere. He knows what it takes to get guys motivated, keep them having fun and staying loose, but with the primary focus on winning and winning that championship. And that seems like something that's been missing with the Giants since they had that even year dynasty that they had when Buster Posey was playing, I will say. But the biggest con against Tony right now is that he has absolutely no pro ball experience, whether that's as a player, as a coach, at any level of professional baseball. It has only been college level, and he is the first manager to make that jump directly. So I think a lot of MLB teams are going to be tuned in, and I think they're going to be seeing, okay, if this succeeds, how can we take advantage? What college coaches can we go out and can we go get to manage our teams to make them even better? And if this doesn't work out, it's going to be a stain on the Giants, but at least they were willing to experiment and take the risk. What this shows is since becoming in charge of the Giants, Buster Posey isn't afraid to make the big moves. We saw that with the Rafael Devers trade, and we're seeing that now in hiring Tony Vitello, this guy who doesn't have any pro ball experience, but was extremely successful on the college level. Posey isn't willing to say, hey, we're just going to stick to what conventionally works. We're going to try to change things up to try to leap ahead of the other teams, which I really, really admire about him and the rest of the Giants organization. So at the end of the day, we're going to see what happens with Tony Vitello. If he's able to transfer the skills that he was able to really take advantage of in college, building the winning atmosphere, making sure players have fun, getting players to buy in, if he is able to translate those things into the big league level, we could see a huge, huge jump for this Giants organization. But all of those things could fail drastically because no one is doing what the Giants have done right now, and that is hiring a college coach with no pro ball experience. Honestly, we'll just have to see what happens. I'm inclined to say that he's going to succeed because I like him and I like Tennessee. And also one thing that I want to add is everyone at Tennessee still loves Tony. He's absolutely beloved. He was like the face of Tennessee, honestly, athletics as a whole. People were really sad to see him go. They weren't upset at him to see him go. They were more upset at like management and like the head people for allowing him to go. But people still really, really like Tony. And I think that the people of San Francisco and the fans of the Giants are going to find out the exact same way that Tony is a fun, likable guy. He was hugging people in the middle of the campus the other year. So he has fun. He knows how to have fun. And that's something that this Giants team desperately, desperately needs. So I guess we're going to see what's going to happen. But that's all I got for you right now. Thank you so much for watching Good Sports for You. Like I said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things. I had a great time talking to you. I hope you had a great time listening. And that's it for me, and I'm out. Peace.